Hey, it's story time with me. We're here in Old Town Arvada, and I'm waiting for the train. It's here. So I'm going to tell you the story while I'm on the train today. So the story I'm going to tell you is about when I was a runaway. Is this going back that way yet? Right now? It goes there first? Okay.
Commuter rail.
Sorry about that. I had to ask a question. Okay, so I'm going to tell a story about when I was a runaway and lived on the streets of Denver. And so I was only 13 years old, but, again, I thought I knew it all. I realize now that I was pretty secluded. I grew up in a pretty secluded household. I knew what a drunk was. I knew what drugs were because of the DARE program. And we really, I don't know, I didn't know the dangers that were really out there. But anyways, I thought I did. So anyways, I'm hanging out with these two girls that were my friends, my street friends. I think her name was Stripes, and then she was the one that we took the van of her grandfather. And I might as well tell that story now too. So we heard about this thing called the Rainbow Family Gathering, and they were down in Florida, and Stripes was like 16, I was 13, and the rest of the street kids were like, between 15, 16, 17 years old. I guess one of them that was with us was 18. Anyways, so we decided, Stripes said, my grandfather doesn't use his van very often, and he's got a bunch of tools in it, and we can just sell those along the way for gas. So let's all head out today and spange as much as we can. Spange means spare change. Ask people, can you spare some change for a bite to eat today, or whatever. And we all spanged as much as we could. We probably got maybe $100 between the six of us. And so Stripes went over and stole her grandfather's van. So there was me and her and 4 dudes with us. And I don't remember who any of them are. Couldn't tell you, but so we take the van, and the first time we need to fill up gas is along the Kansas and Colorado border. So we walk around and ask people for money, and we get, a little bit of money, and then we sell a couple tools to some truckers, and we end up with a full tank of gas. So we head out, and then we make it to all the way through Kansas. We make it to Missouri, and we were at a rest stop, and Stripes had lost her shoes or whatever at the rest stop, so she didn't have any shoes, for one, and then for two, we barely had any clothes with us, and so we're getting ready to leave the rest stop, and a cop pulls behind us, and he says, anyone have a license here? Oh, this is from Colorado. Oh, it's stolen, reported stolen. And oh, look, you guys are all going to jail. Oh, wait, you guys are minors? So Stripes and I were minors, and we went to some kind of like minor facility for about 2 days or something, maybe longer, because I don't know. But Stripes' mom flew out to Missouri and my mom signed a release for me or whatever, and so she was able to pick me up. So me, Stripes, and her mom drove back in the van. That was my first experience with any kind of lockup facility or anything like that, and it was crazy. I remember them telling us we couldn't, because I was coming out of the room, and they said, if you come out of your room, you need to ask permission to cross the line to get to the next line. And and I didn't quite understand why, so I got locked in my room because I left without asking. Not left, but I mean, I left the room without asking. So I got locked into my room for the rest of the time that we were there, I guess. And her mom picked us up, and we rode back. We stayed in a hotel room. I remember it was a Hulk Hogan versus
next stop 60th and Sheridan Arvada Road Strike Station.
Hulk Hogan versus the Big Show, which it was WCW back then. He was called the Giant in WCW, but since the Giant was already taken by Andre the Giant in WWE or WWF back then, he had to be called the Big Show when he moved to WWE. But anyways, that's just a little side note that no one really, maybe someone cares, I don't know. But it was I remember the match because it was cutting into regular programming because it was going so long, and they let me watch it. That was really cool of them. And we rode back, and I remember that was my last time running away. Something about that whole trip and everything made me not want to do it again. We were going to hitchhike to Florida. Why? To some Rainbow Family Gathering thing? Why? Like, what was there? I couldn't go home. I couldn't go to my mom. I couldn't see my family. And you don't realize that until you're away, and then you're like, I want my mommy, when you can't eat, when you're hungry, when you can't take a shower, when there's no one to give you a hug, when there's no one to care that you got hurt, or, there's no one to say I love you before you go to bed or anything, it's just, I think something about that made me not want to run away anymore. And so I went back home and got back in school and started doing good at Skyview. I met a lot of friends there, and I remember the officer Bella. This one day I was wearing a dress, and then I didn't have any style back then. I wore tennis shoes with a dress because I didn't have any.
This is the 60th and Sheridan
and black tights.
Strike Station. Please do not lock the doors and kindly move to the center of the train to make room for boarding passengers.
But it was like one of those summer dresses where it was like flowery on top, and it had little spaghetti straps, and then it was like a blue, like jean type looking dress that goes up to your knees, and then I was wearing black tights with it and tennis shoes. Anyway, around my neck I had this onesie bat, which is like a one-hitter thing for marijuana. And Officer Bella, she was the officer for our school. She was an actual Thornton police officer. And she comes up to me when I'm up there, and she's like, "Oh, this looks like marijuana bat." And I was like, "It is, but please don't write me a ticket. Please don't take me to jail." And I was like, "If you do that, they're gonna put me in foster care, and I'll never see my family again." And she's like, "Give me that." I gave her the onesie bat, and she's like, "Do you have any marijuana on you?" I was like, "No, it was all in the onesie bat. I was just trying to wear it to look cool, you know." And so she just told me, "All right, get back to school, and then don't let me catch you with anything like that again, or I will tell your mom, or I will write you a ticket, you know, or whatever." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And I was all crying and stuff because I had never had confrontation with an officer before, but except for, you know, the one time in Missouri. But I didn't really have a confrontation with the officer then. Like, I just did what they said, and that was it. You know, I didn't have a confrontation at all. But so I never told my mom about that, and the officer never told my mom. She just took my stuff, and I was like, "Officer Bella's pretty cool, dude." Like, I was like, she could just take people's stuff and then not write them tickets. I was like, "That's so cool. I want to do that. I want to go find a bunch of drug dealers and take all their stuff and all their money, and then just tell them, I better not catch you doing that again, and then let them go." And say, you know, and then I would have a lot of money and a cool job and whatever. But yeah, it was just as a joke. You know, obviously I'm saying that as a joke. But yeah, so that led into that story, and then my original story will have to be continued on my next video. I might still be here. Right now I'm at the Arvada gold mine station on 60th and Sheridan, because I had just left Donya's house up at 80th and Wadsworth, and it's raining today, and I'm definitely going to miss Donya. I'm going to miss my family here. It's going to be different moving because things aren't going to be the same as they were last time I lived there, you know? Like, last time I lived there, I had my son. Last time I lived there, I had all three of my sisters and all their kids, and my mom, and my grandma didn't hate me as much. She does now. And I had my best friend and his family, Jeremy Grandstaff and his family. They were all lived there too, you know, so, and I thought I was lonely then. It's going to be really lonely this time. And I had a car then too, so I could travel around and stuff, you know, and I wasn't always stuck. But I mean, I worked all the time when I was there last. I had my own apartment, my own car, you know, and I had shared custody of my son, and I had a full-time job that I was at all the time. And when I wasn't there, I was with my child or over at Jeremy's house, and it's gonna be weird being there without him too, you know. But I'm almost 40 years old, you know. I can do it, you know. I'm used to being alone and lonely. I can do this, you know. I mean, I have to put my feelings aside of poor me, you know. Put that aside and think about who needs me, you know. And there's someone that needs me, and she's getting older, and she needs me now, you know. She's gonna grow up to hate me if I've been gone almost a year, you know. I've been there ever since the day she was born, you know. And of course, because I had her. And I mean, I need to be there with her, you know, for her. So screw how you know. And that's gonna make my heart so much happier to be with her, you know. And maybe when my son's 18, maybe he'll come find me, maybe he won't. I don't know. I hope he does, I hope he has questions. I hope he wants to know me. I hope he wants to know, what's the deal, Mom? Like, why'd you leave? Okay, well, have a good evening, everyone, and I'll continue my other story in the next video.